Welcome to my PvP guide for Holy Paladins in patch 10.1.5 of Dragonflight. Despite being considered extinct before this most recent patch, they have made a strong comeback, becoming formidable healers with great damage capabilities as well. Holy Paladins are relatively easy to grasp and excel in arenas, offering impressive sustained and burst healing capabilities, although they did receive recent nerfs that make them a bit mana hungry. In this guide, we'll cover talents, gearing, healing rotations, utility, and macros. Timestamps have been provided in the description for easy navigation. Before we begin, I'd like to mention my Twitch channel where I stream 4 days a week, focusing on arenas with various healers as well as some warrior gameplay. Feel free to join and ask questions or just to chat. With that out of the way, let's start with talents. This is the build I've used since the rework, and it's pretty solid. It's static with little room for customization, but one talent to consider adjusting is Repentance and Blinding Light, depending on your team composition and your preferred playstyle. For PvP talents, we generally use Blessed Hands to gain an extra charge of freedom and Blessing of Protection, Divine Vision to reduce the cooldown on Aura Mastery, and Denounce, which is a potent damaging ability that also reduces enemy damage. There are niche situations for other PvP talents, but I generally don't change. The one I will mention is Cleanse the Weak, which can be especially powerful against enemies like Death Knights and Balance Druids. Regarding stat priority, we aim for versatility, crit, haste, and then mastery. Some argue for haste over crit, but one of the key mechanics of the spec is the passive Infusion of Light, which empowers certain spells whenever Holy Shock crit. Subsequently, consuming the Infusion of Life buff reduces the cooldown of Holy Shock. Now let's discuss gearing. For tier gear, the best slots are going to be your head, shoulders, chest, and gloves. Our embellished gear is going to be the Signet of Titanic Insight, which can be work order crafted when you provide a Spark of Shadow Flame, 2 Shimmering Clasps, Elemental Harmony, a Emerald, a Draconic Missive of the Quickblade, a Statuette of Unforeseen Power, and a Lesser Trophy of Conquest. For boots, we'll use the Infurious War Boots of Impunity, which can be work order crafted with a Spark of Shadow Flame, 2 large sturdy femurs, 2 Obsidian Seared Alloys, 16 Infurious Alloys, and a Trophy of Conquest. For trinkets, we'll use the Medallion and Insignia. Enchantments on your gear will include Homebound Speed on your back, Reserve of Intellect on your chest, Speed on your wrists, Shadowed Belt Clasp on your belt, if you can afford it, Temporal Spell Thread on your legs, Planesrunner Breeze on your boots, Crit on rings, and Sophic Devotion on your weapons. You'll want to apply 2 level 2 tiered medallion settings and 1 level 3 tiered medallion settings to your neck, in that order to allow you to throw 3 gems in it, and you'll want to put Radiant Alexstrasite in every gem slot. If you really want to be bougie, you can also work order craft 1 Illimited Diamond for one of your gem slots, which will grant 53 Intellect and 46 Critical Strike. It's crafted with 1 Awakened Fire, 1 Awakened Order, 1 Illimited Diamond, and 1 Alexstrasite. For sustained healing, we'll follow a priority list in arenas. Utilizing Word of Glory if you have enough Holy Power. Use Holy Shock on cooldown to generate Holy Power, and proc Infusion of Light. Holy Shock also applies Glimmer of Light to the target, reducing damage friendly players take by 16%, and providing healing on allies or damage on enemies whenever Holy Shock is used again. Use Judgment on cooldown, which generates Holy Power and mitigates enemy damage through the talent Greater Judgment. Holy Prism can be used when extra heals are needed, but Holy Shock is on cooldown. We can also use Flash of Light with Infusion of Light procs or as a last resort. Full Holy Lights are generally not cast. For burst healing, start each match with Tears Deliverance, an AoE heal lasting 20 seconds that enhances healing from other abilities. Combine it with the Boundless Salvation talent to extend the healing effect on yourself with other healing spells. Divine Toll casts Holy Shock on up to 5 targets around you, making it a great AoE heal. Combine it with Daybreak, which consumes all glimmers of light, providing some extra AoE healing and mana regeneration. Using Daybreak also triggers Rising Sunlight, causing Holy Shock to cast 3 times on the next 3 uses, which leads to some insane burst healing. Avenging Wrath is another big healing option, providing a 15% increase in healing, damage, and crit. Hand of Divinity can also be used to instant cast more powerful Holy Lights, but it requires pre-casting before expecting damage. Blessing of Protection and Lay on Hands are also some big healing cooldowns. Holy Paladins are capable of dealing substantial damage. For sustained damage, use Judgment, Holy Shock, and Holy Prism on cooldown when you're stable enough to do so. For burst damage, use Divine Toll, Daybreak, Avenging Wrath, Hammer of Wrath, and then alternate between Denounce and Holy Shock until Rising Sunlights are consumed. Now let's discuss the utility Holy Paladins bring to the table, as well as some of the interactions of their abilities. At the start of every match, you'll want to place a beacon of light and a beacon of faith on 2 people in your party. You'll generally want these to be placed on the 2 party members you expect to take the most damage. Several of your abilities will provide bonus healing or effects on targets with beacons active. Blessing of Protection is a fantastic cooldown to stop physical attacks and remove effects like Warbreaker and Karma. Denounce prevents enemies from critting for 8 seconds, which is effective against other Holy Paladins due to crit's importance for the spec. It's also useful against abilities like Combustion or True Shot. Aura Mastery is generally used with Devotion Aura for a 30% damage reduction for the party, but it can also be used with Concentration Aura to make allies immune to interrupts and silences for 8 seconds, particularly powerful with some compositions. Blessing of Sacrifice can be used on an ally before being hit with a CC that breaks with damage, providing significant protection. Blessing of Freedom is crucial and should not be used stingily, especially against boomkins, where pre-freedoming a root beam on yourself is super effective. Hammer of Justice is a powerful CC, usable both offensively and defensively depending on the situation. In solo shuffle, hodging into Repentance or vice versa is a powerful combo that can shut an enemy healer down for a long time. The Blessing of Summer Talent offers rotating benefits starting as a damage increase, then cooldown reduction, mana regeneration, and healing increase, so it's essential to use them wisely. Divine Shield is your ultimate oh shit button. You'll generally want to save this as a last resort as it can be used in most types of CCs, and as soon as you use it, you open up as a good kill target. It's important to remember that priests and warriors can remove it. Divine Protection is a fantastic personal defensive that can be used while stunned. It's generally good to use early as soon as you're stunned because it has a relatively short cooldown. And lastly, we have Forbearance, which is applied by Blessing of Protection, Lay on Hands, and Divine Shield. This prevents you from using another one of these spells on the same target within 30 seconds of each other. As for macros, unlike other classes, I haven't extensively used macros on my Paladin yet. However, a few to consider would be Arena 1-2-3 for Repentance, and Party 1-2-3 for Cleanses and Freedoms. And that's all. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the arenas, and may the light be with you.